Hey, we're live. Hi, everybody. So glad to have you here. We're waiting for some people to come up. I'm Jay Skinner with PDT Associates. Go live today. I'm so excited to have you here. Really a great response of people signing up to come here and be part of the live show. And so I want to say thank you for coming. I'm going to start here while folks are coming on. I'm just going to play a song. This is back by popular request. You'll probably remember it. Let's see what we got here. Hit this button, do like that. Bam. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. He was a good friend of mine. Yeah. I never understood a single word he said, but I always helped him drinking his Coke. You know he always had a mighty fine coat, out singing joy to the world. All the boys and girls now, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. Wow. Three Dog Night. Gee, when was that? How about that? Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Anyway, I want to thank you so much here. This is, well, what do we call me? Jay Skinner Live. Buyers and sellers, PDT Associates. And in particular, the topic today is buffet of ideas. And so I'm sharing that with you. And just from a logistics standpoint, if it's your first time here, I want you to know that I'm here in front of multiple screens. And so if you see me looking around, I'm kind of managing the broadcast and making sure that you all get to see everything, and it's going very well. As we do that, let me go here, boop, click on that. And when we talk about buyers and sellers, one of the things about this show is the understanding that I think we're all buyers and sellers. And so I call it the silver rule, and it's do unto your vendors as you want your customers to do unto you. And that idea is, it's going to bleed over into everything you do in your company. And if you're having difficulties in areas, you might find out, maybe there's a little karma here, little what you sow, so shall you reap. And this could be the best thing. And you know what? I just got a newsflash. Got a message here from the King of Sales, Mr. Jeffrey Gitomer. And he says, the book, Customer Satisfaction is Worthless. Customer Loyalty is Priceless. And I don't know if you're watching right now, Jeffrey Gitomer, he's the King of Sales. And in a minute, we're going to be talking about something that he wrote, and I wanted to attribute it properly. And he's still typing. I'll let you know. I know we've got Jeffrey Gitomer fans here. So it's 30 minutes up or down, less, not more. So hang on tight, buckle up, and away we go. The buffet of ideas idea. What does that mean, and what are the implications? This is part of your reinvent, restart, and rebuild your life, your company. What's going on? Really not necessarily just since COVID and all this, but I was talking to a really smart person the other day I'm going to tell you about her in a minute, but she was talking about the cyclical nature and doing kind of a technical analysis of the markets and so forth, and where things are hitting and what is going on. And you could have well seen a decline even prior to COVID, or seen some things pointing towards a negative, but now we're in the dip and on the way back up. So how cool is that? I want to encourage you, because you may be in a personal or business situation like you've never been in before. And this Buyers and Sellers show is here to give you some ideas that will encourage you to reinvent, restart, and rebuild faster and better than ever. And I want to thank, first of all, if you see this cool shirt, how nice is this? Got an unexpected gift from one of my new friends, a businessman in Colorado, Bradley Beck. And so thank you very much for this Go Live or Die shirt gift. And then we were talking, he said, oh yeah, Ron Goodwin made it. And so Ron Goodwin is a frequent attendee on this show and a friend as well. All of these guys are in the Insiders Club with Jeffrey Gitomer and me and hundreds of other people. So I would encourage you to look that up. If you want to know more, let me know. Anyway, I'm going to put up a topic and we'll talk about it and move to another and see what happens. And as I do that, I'm going to make sure that I have my comments available. And there's that's nice. Look at that. So let me tell you about Deirdre Ryder. We've known each other for many, many years, and she's the CEO, president, and owner of Vitz International. It's a machine company serving the printing industry since 1978, over 40 years. And it's like, it's not really fair even to say machine company, I think at times, because they're more a printing productivity and efficiency company that understands what goes on before and after the machines. And you'll hear me talk about that concept in sales and selling too. So Deirdre, thank you very much for participating. And I'm going to put up a topic right now. I'd asked her for some ideas of things that might be interesting to talk about. I'm looking over here. Let me put up the first question or comment idea. Well, one is this one right here. So we can make sure I fix that. By the way, sometimes my mouse is stopping today, but you know what I say. When the computer is the problem, God gave us dominion over the trees and the field and the birds and everything else, and computers too. So never let the computer win. There's always a way. What is a buffet idea and how does it help in business? Number one is when you go talk to people, you have opinions, and over the years, through your reading and through your studying and things that you've done to get better and better and better, hopefully you've been able to figure out ways to do things that are beneficial to people around you. And if you're a buyer or a seller, again, it doesn't make any difference what you are. Do you bring value to the relationship? And when you do, you have to go in and say things and help and make comments and put things out there on the buffet as you're talking to people. And the question is, do you own it so much that if they don't take your suggestion, that you're going to be offended? Well, I suggest that you take the buffet of ideas approach. And that is just like when you go to a buffet of food, you go there and I go down the line and you pick what you want. And I know that if there's sauerkraut and carrots and mashed potatoes, if I take the sauerkraut and I leave the special carrots and take some mashed potatoes and don't take the green beans, as I'm going down the line, the chef does not run out of the kitchen screaming, "What's wrong with my green beans?" or "What's wrong with this, whatever it is you did not take?" He just puts it out there and lets me decide what I like. If he happens to be standing by the line, he'll say, try this, you might like it. And then I can decide. If I take it, great. If I don't take it, he doesn't like throw a peach or a pear at me when I walk away. Well, that's the same way that we need to approach our ideas and things when we're dealing with our customers and helping them to be more successful. When I travel and I come into a town, I'll call whoever I want to make sure I get in contact with. And I'm thankful that as a rule, they'll clear their schedule because I'm coming from out of town and here we go. And they know that I'm going to leave a gem of one kind or another. And ordinarily we'll just walk through the whole facility and the plant and talk about a lot of things. Sometimes they'll throw a management meeting and let me stand up at a whiteboard and draw pictures and talk about things. However, when I lay out the ideas and suggestions, I detach from them and allow them to pick them up or leave them there, just like on a buffet. And my suggestion is life is a lot easier that way. And people will enjoy having you if they don't feel like it's going to be a struggle every time they don't exactly take your idea. That's my suggestion. That's the buffet of ideas concept. And I do suggest that you explain it to people when you're talking to them to let them off the hook so they don't feel like they have to address everything you say. That's just like, well, here's some ideas. It works very well. So I suggest that you take a look at that. While we're doing it here, I'm going to go over here to comments. Doug Wing. Oh my gosh. Okay. So Doug, thank you so much. You learned something today. You have power of the computer. You bet you do. And it should have been, it should have been in the Bible. I'm sure it would have been in Genesis if it had made any sense to anyone for thousands of years. Thank you for coming, Doug. We're going to go right. Oh, there's Ron Goodwin, guy that made this shirt. Thank you very much, sir. I do want you to make comments because as you can see here, they're going to pop up here. And what I'm doing is going back and forth between the questions and the comments. And if I talk about something that's interesting to you, please chime in. And I'm going to be more, rather than waiting to the end of the show like I've done in the past, I'm going to look for comments to pop. Now, if you're making comments and your name doesn't show, which I haven't had any of those yet, then there's something to do on StreamYard to make sure that you're accepted. If you're on Facebook, for instance, if your name doesn't show up when I pop you up here, you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and register there. And that's, for those of you that are wondering what I'm doing, how I get all these cool effects, well, that's StreamYard.com. So let's go on here. Now, I talked about Deirdre Ryder a minute ago, and I want to, for sure, bring up a question. I'm going to learn something here real quick if I have to turn one off to get it on. There we go. Looks like it pops like that. Great. What countries seem to be in a buying mode in the industry? Now, I know I've got some really cool people in the printing industry online, and I would love to get your ideas about that to see, do you see a difference internationally about what countries are, moving out in terms of growth and good things happening? Or, if you have an opposite idea, I'd be interested to see that over here on comments. I will be sure and catch if anybody has something. And just looking for here. There we go. While we go, Ron, thank you. This is a good lesson. Ron is commenting about the buffet of ideas. And I think this makes tons of sense. That a hard lesson for me to learn when presenting 3 designs and customer picks the worst design, in his opinion, of course. My job is to make their dreams come true, not mine. And Ron, I think you're probably planning on doing a book along with the number of us. And when you do, that should be in there. That is awesome. That is very, very good. Everybody take note of that. That is a great comment, a great sentence, a quote you can make. And when you do, say it was by Ron Goodwin. Okay. Well, I'll watch the comments as they come. Does anybody have any comments about what countries seem to be in a buying mode in maybe the printing industry or other industries, and seems things are going up? I personally think a lot of countries are going up. Here's another topic that, I'm so happy Deirdre shared with me this thought and thinking about it. What will happen to the trade show model? Will it return? And we know, those of us in business on either side of this know that it was excuse me, that it was in a declining trend even before COVID. And very interested to hear what people have to say. And I'm going to riff a little bit on this topic. I believe the trade show business model went down and really made a deep turn in 2001, right after 9/11. That year, 9/11, I was sitting in Chicago at the print show as part of an international company serving the printing industry worldwide. And 9/11 occurred, and the show went on for another day or so in stunned, not the same at all. Everybody was figuring out how to get home and everything else. It was a big international show called Print. And everybody went home, and everyone has stories about 9/11. But what happened after that and going forward was the whole trade show industry, which was previous to that the number one place for buyers and sellers to get together. It was a tremendous place for people within an industry. When you used vertical trade shows, that means trade shows within an industry, it was a great place to meet every year or every couple of years and see what the latest innovations are, get in touch with your vendors, maybe get deals if people had show deals. And education was huge. And prior to 9/11, most of the big companies were sending people like their plant managers and their production managers and their engineers, and then they'd send people in various levels, including their purchasing managers, which was important. And so it would not be unusual to have a big integrated company with a presence of 200 or 300 people at a national or international trade show from all different disciplines in the company. After 9/11, I don't know. My suspicion is that some companies, and if you're one of them, you can confirm here. I'm looking for comments. Some companies might have used it as a reason to start cutting that off, and so that the ongoing education process between the buyers and the sellers at the live trade shows was going down, and a lot of companies were being run by Excel file and management trying to increase EBITDA according to not just increasing sales, which is always difficult, but by also decreasing expenses, not recognizing that the expense of sending people on your team to the trade shows is something that helps build them up, build rapport with vendors, helps them get smarter and bring really good and cool things back to your company so they'll be smarter. As a result, we had 10 years of a lot of people not really able to go to trade shows on account of policies. And that result to the companies meant that there was not a lot of new learning going on within manufacturing and other fields that previously attended the trade shows. So if you're one of those guys that cut back to save money, take a look around and see where you guys are as it relates to continuing education and real smarts about what they're doing and keeping up with the future. And if your sense is, well, maybe we are a few years behind, and maybe my production manager or manufacturing manager or people that I used to support or production line people or my purchasing agents are not that in tune now with the market and with vendors, let me encourage you that that expense is a great investment, and there's a return on it that amounts to what happens once they get in front of vendors and they can make decisions and participate in the conversations. So please consider the live trade shows again. Now, I've got some more comments here. This is awesome. Doug Wing, and I just want you to explain, Doug Wing is one of the family members of the Little Giant Ladder Company, and he's a cool guy, and he had to spend a lot of time doing a lot of stuff. So let's see what he has to say. Little Giant used to do 400 trade shows a year. The internet really started the decline for us. I don't think that the show business will be what it once was. Little Giant has built several new studios, and now they do live presentations with current and potential customers. Right on. That's what's happening. You're exactly right. And the whole virtual program as it relates to communicating with your customers is a huge part of that. Can I say that I just hope it doesn't really go away and that maybe we can get back to the live? But this is a tremendous response here, Doug, for the Little Giant Ladder Company to deal with, current times. Ron, let's see what Ron says. I found that attending trade shows, especially the bigger national shows, put my company ahead of my competition and gave me face-to-face across two industry leaders. Yep, I agree. So I'm looking for some more comments to that. That's a good thing. I'm very interested for more people to think about it. Boy, I want to go back to the trade shows. I want to show up there and do them live like we used to. I think we're not going to shake hands as much. I think we might have some hand sanitizer around. There'll be some people that feel like they want to continue to wear masks and things. And I think that's great. Should be optional as far as I'm concerned. That the people that want to wear a mask can, the people that can't don't have to. But we get back to business, have some fun, work together. So how about another topic? Let's talk about something else. What are some good books to read or listen to get better as a buyer or seller? And this is one that I wanted to bring up, and I've got things to grab behind me. So if you excuse me, as I look here, I'm going to just show you a couple books that made a big impact in my life. Here's one. It's called The Little Red Book of Selling by Jeffrey Gitomer. And my old joke when we used to listen to tapes was I'd say, if a guy reads a lot of books, he's a bookworm. And then what if he listens to a lot of tapes? If I had a prize, I'd say, what's the punchline to that one? Here's another one that was a big deal for me. Chester Karras. And when you rode on the planes and you looked in the magazine, you remember those Karras negotiating seminars? Well, attend one. You're going to learn a lot of stuff, and this is for buyers and sellers. When I went to the seminars, the group was probably half salespeople and half purchasing people. And most guys in the sales business, and quite frankly, in the purchasing business, less now because there's a lot more education there. But in the sales business, we're working on it even more, is you need to have a lot of arrows in your quiver to deal with the negotiation situation. And how many times there's a world-class international purchasing person talking to a sales guy that hasn't read a book in 25 years. And if you're that guy, please do it. Get better, get smart. It'll be awesome. More Than a Carpenter. I don't know if we can see it. The lighting is something. There we go. By Josh McDowell. And this is a nice book that talks about the life of Jesus and the life of Christ in a way that everybody can understand it and read it. It's very interesting. And he wrote this years and years ago. And I suggest that you read that and understand that here, this changed my life. And my friend, who knows, I might be lucky and he's on right now, Dr. Tony Alessandra. There we go. And I'm going to show it right here. Anthony J. Alessandra. Non-manipulative selling. I'm telling you, he's one of the fathers of the DISC system. And you get in here and look at that. You don't remember this? Behavioral dynamics and how people go. Business owners. Jim Collins, Good to Great. If you went to college, I think, at least they used to, make you read stuff like this. And I suggest that you read it. Another good book he wrote was Built to Last. Tremendous lessons there. Oh, what else have I got? Gitomer. See, my problem is Gitomer's wrote like 17 books or something unbelievable like this. This red book is the biggest selling sales book in history. It's something like 16 million. The most recent one is called Go Live. And this motivated me to do this. And I think I'm celebrating the 8th or 9th consecutive Go Live here with our show. And then remember Little Red Book of Selling. And then this is Get You Know What Done. Whoop, look at that. Talk about time management. Jeffrey Gitomer again. I really suggest him. We could go on and on and on. I could even talk about tapes and things by Earl Nightingale and Napoleon Hill and. What are you doing to get better? Let's go over here. I see some comments. There we go. Hello. Hi, Renee. Says, hi, Jay. I've read both of the books that you have on your desk, Go Live and The Little Red Book, 3 times each. Fantastic reads. Thank you. Hi, Eli Skinner. Well, I know you. And thank you. I know you like Get You Know What Done for time management. That you've just gone through that. Never Split the Difference. Chris Voss. Thanks, Ron. Let's see if I got any more. I'm kind of clicking through here. Don't want to miss anybody's thoughts. There we go. Good. Well, let's pick another comment. I've got 5 minutes. I'm trying to make it easy for everyone. And here's a little note here. It's like we talked about buying and selling, upward trends in the economy. This is kind of fun. I was just on the 959 Club with Jeffrey and the gang and some of the people that you see commenting here. And please, everyone, feel free to comment. How do you quickly judge what you say for appropriateness? And I say receivableness. That's my way of saying it. And the answer is in Jeffrey Gitomer's books and some of his work. He called it the grandma rule or filter. Now think about this. Whatever it is you say, put the word grandma at the end to see whether or not it makes sense. So what would be an example? I'm selling something at the kitchen table. Maybe this is a business to consumer type of sale, B2C. And I say, well, here's my price, but if you don't buy it today, it's going up 20%. You'll never get this deal again, Grandma. How about Grandma? This looks pretty good to you, doesn't it? What's it going to take to get this done, Grandma? I'm here to help. I'm out there in business and I've got this widget and looks like you need it. And you go, I just can't afford it. It's too expensive. Well, what am I going to say? Well, everybody ought to have one of these. It's not too expensive. If you invest in it now, it'll pay back in a month, Grandma. Or I hear what you're saying. I do. You say it's too expensive. I get it. It's too expensive compared to what, Grandma? See the difference? Thanks, Jeffrey. That's kind of a cool rule. So we're going to put a wrap on it here in a couple of minutes. Let's see. I'm up and down. I want to take a look at this. I see my time. I try to stay true to it because we are all busy and this needs to be packed full of gems. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. Sometimes I pick a full topic and we develop that. Other times like this, we're doing a buffet of ideas. I'll see you over here on some more ideas that I thought we might be able to go through. Here we go. And I'm going to have to use this. And well, there's one right there. So that's interesting. I see something here that what the question is overall. Boom. Do others expect an upward trend in the economy, business, etc.? Where do you think we are in that process? I'm very interested. Let's go over to comments, see what people are saying. Yeah, Renee, I love the grandma rule too. That's pretty good. Any other comments to that question? Do others expect an upward trend in the economy, businesses, etc.? And I want to thank Deirdre Ryder, owner of VITS. Thank you for sharing some questions. She's like really, really, really smart about this stuff. And I know I got some really other smart people here. I would love to hear some comments. Now, if we get to the end and there's no comments to talk about, please don't let that stop you. Put some comments in. I'll catch them later, and I look forward to commenting on them offline. While we're at it, if you want to get to know me better, get to see me, make friends, right here, go to thejskinner.com. And it'll say, what about Jay Skinner? That's a page on my website. You can find over there more about you. Click on that. You can fill in a thing or see my phone number if you want to call and talk about any of the things we've talked about today or anything else. I try to be super accessible. I love you. I'm so glad you're here. And with that, let me check the comments before we go. And there we go. Eli, thank you. Short term, yes. Midterm, no. Long term, yes. There you go. There's some thoughts about the economy. Thank you for your input there. I'm going to give it just a second, take another drink. Oh, by the way, I don't take requests very well, but if someone has something in mind, you can always ask. Again, so happy and so proud to have so many people show up and be part of this show. And so let's go out there. How about a little? I started with Joy to the World. Let's end with it now. Another verse of Jeremiah was a bullfrog. This is going to be one of the verses of it. And I'll just play it out. And again, thank you so much for joining me, Jay Skinner, with Buyers and Sellers. Pretty cool. What an honor to have you here. Looking forward to spending more time with you. If I was the king of the world, tell you what I'd do, yeah. I'd throw away the cars and the bars and the wars and sing sweet songs to you. Yes, I sing sweet songs to you. I'm singing joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Hey, thanks for coming. We'll see you next week, 10:35. Buyers and Sellers. I'm Jay Skinner. Thank you for joining us. Bye now.